Would you look at that? Nice. I'm just gonna. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Massachusetts Central Radio Show. I'm your home host, Mike Camo. Here are just some beautiful shots from Massachusetts. Here, a nice spring day. I think it's about 65 degrees. You're shooting on my iPhone. You're on entry your episode 217? 317. So this is episode 37 of the year, 317, and I'm coming to you live from Avon, Massachusetts, here for another one of these. And of course, it wouldn't be an episode without me in the photo or me in the picture. So yeah, everybody, hello everybody, welcome back. I'm your host, Mike Camo, here on a Sunday evening at about 7 o'clock. I usually shoot one of these at night, but since I have the iPhone out and it's properly charged. Well, it's not properly charged yet. I think it's about to die. So yeah, everybody, welcome back to another one of these. I recorded more Gran Turismo today. Recorded about an hour and 16 minutes worth. So that'll be the other episode is going to probably be an hour and 16 minutes. I don't know if I can really upload that long from Share Factory. I think Share Factory only has about a 59-minute limit. I'll have to check that, but so I've done an hour's worth of gameplay. I'm gonna have to do episode 6 or whatever, or episode 10, I can't remember. So I have another episode up. I'm going to put another one up on the 2nd tomorrow. So I'm already up to, so when you guys watch that, I'm on book 27. I'm really on book 31 in game. So I progressed a bit further than normal. And the championships are getting harder because the championship coming up in that game is the Porsche Cup. And I have to tune the car to 650, and it's kind of the difficulty spike in the game kind of goes up, and I can't rely on the same old tricks that I did last time. A lot of people are complaining that this is hard, that the 650 limit is hard to get to, and they have to par down a little bit, and they don't have any. I've got a method that I might be able to use, and if all the additions to the horsepower do not add up, then I'm going to be able to do this. What I did was I took the car and I halved its horsepower. I basically have this horsepower twice with the air restrictor and the I just want to catch this. Sorry. Guy has his afterburners on. Smoke trail. Guy has his smoke trail on, or his burners on, or whatever. He's putting his burners on. It's so cool. He's going like hell in that thing, man. That's as fast as the Porsche is probably going to go when I get it all specced up. So what I did was I put the power restrictor on, and a lot of people are like, oh, you have to give it this and that. I actually found out a way because I'm smart. So I'm going to reduce the weight and put a little ballast on. I'm going to have fun with this, and then I'm going to test the car. I'm going to test the car, and I'm going to show you guys just how stupid easy it is to avoid these problems. And yes, there is ballast and stuff like that. In terms of racing today, actually, I'll get to racing in a minute. Now that we're talking about racing, I'll get to racing in a minute. So, in racing news today, it's confirmed that so at Indy racing, the Indy race was on at 1 o'clock. The Indy race started at 1 o'clock. The NASCAR race started at 3 o'clock. I don't know if it's over yet because they were in a weather delay. I will probably maybe share that progress tomorrow, quite possibly, because I don't know what the results are of that race yet. So, but I know in IndyCar, it was Pato O'Ward who won the Indy Grand Prix of Birmingham, and I believe Alex Palou has now taken the points lead, the IndyCar Series, going into the Grand Prix of Indianapolis, which is the next race on the calendar, and then of course 2 weeks later, after all the testing and after all the qualifying and all the speeds we're going to set, all the good speeds we're going to set over 220, 230 miles an hour. We're going to have the Indianapolis 500 at the end of the month. And welcome to May, everybody. Forgot to say that. Welcome to May, and welcome to racing's golden month. So, in the month of May, Indianapolis. So, yeah, I'll be covering Indianapolis stuff, practice sessions. I'm obviously going to tell you the times and stuff like that. So, you guys have and see what the favorites are going to be for the race, and who I think will win it, who has the chance to score their first victory, or maybe their first multiple victories. We'll see. Newgarden, Will Power, and McLaughlin definitely are looking like strong contenders on the ovals. I do hope McLaughlin actually wins it, because I'd like to see not only an Aussie win it again, or a Kiwi, or a New Zealander or a Kiwi like Scott Dixon. Scott Dixon's also another favorite driver of mine, who's won multiple championships and won the Indianapolis 500 a couple of times. IMSA was Acura won too. I believe Louis Delatraz, who's son of Gene Delatraz, won LMP2. GTD Pro was won by PAF Racing, with Matthew Gemini and Matthew, I forget the other one, I think it was Matthew Stevens or something like that, or some Matthew. Corvette came fourth, so they're down in the championship by 50 points. And good job to Wright Motorsport for actually double win, actually giving Porsche the double win at Laguna Seca, a track they do well at, historically. So yeah, I'm happy that we're racing. I'll actually tell you guys in the description who won the NASCAR race, if it concludes, or if it has concluded, because it was running 78 laps in at like 4 o'clock, so 4:30, because the IMSA race concluded at 6. So, it takes 3 hours to run a cup race, and they had to get it done before the lights were knocked over because the sunset at Dover, Delaware was 7:55. So I hope they got the whole race in, and I'll tell you guys the results I'll tell you guys the results of that race and tell you who won. Kyle Larson was leading when the red flag was flown, so I'm hoping he can stay at the front and get another win and get up there in the points with Chevrolet. So he does need the points so he can be in the title contention this year. So so that will be good. Formula One is off this week. I think they're heading to Miami next weekend or the weekend after. I can't remember, but I know they're heading to Miami very soon. I'll give you guys with that race, and I just want to say that I'm rooting for Hamilton to try to come back into the championship lead, even though I kind of wanted Verstappen to win. But I feel with all the stuff that happened last year, it was a tight battle. I think Hamilton should have won it, but Verstappen, of course, the right calls got made, and Verstappen obviously won. I want to see Hamilton break the record. It is not over yet. You know, it's not like they earned 10 points a race, so, or like 2 points or like 10 points a race or something like that, a race back like they did back in Formula One, because I'm just going to say this. I say this kind of grimly, and that shouldn't be looked upon as a great thing, because it isn't. But the Formula One World Championship, look it up after you watch this radio show episode. 1970, Formula One season. Jochen Rindt went like through 3/4 of the season. I went through like 3/4 of the season. He died before. I think he died like 4 or 5 races from the end. And the points. And back then, your point gain was done. Your points were gained by the leading man in the manufacturer back then. In that era, it's been happening for the last couple of years. So the highest ranking car in. So the higher the rank the cars are in the constructors or the drivers' championship, the more points they get. So Jochen Rindt actually scored enough points to where Clay Rigazzoni or Ronnie Peterson, I forget which one it was, actually scored enough points. To actually win the championship, and I think he won. And I forget if Fittipaldi was his partner in crime. I don't think it was. I think Emerson came later. Emma Fittipaldi of IndyCar and Formula One fame. Emma winning in '89 and '93 with Roger Penske. But he died in the points when they tallied up all the points and they looked at all the results. I think he won by Rindt won posthumously, which means he won it when he died. He won it after he died. Posthumous. I think posthumous or posthumous. I think posthumous means it's post death or something like that. Posthumously, one of those. Rindt actually won it when he was dead. So I'm not saying Lewis Hamilton's going to die and he's going to win the world championship, but stranger things have occurred in the F1 World Championship. I'm hoping that Mercedes can get around the porpoising at Miami so that they can win a couple races. Because George Russell's right there. He's definitely got a chance to win the title if he can keep with Verstappen and Leclerc and Sergio Perez. But I think it's too early in the season to count Hamilton out yet. I want to see Hamilton win the world championship. Even if it's by 4 points, I want to see him win the world title. I want to see him break Michael Schumacher's record, because Michael Schumacher said he's going to break, one of these 3 drivers is going to break my record. It's either going to be Vettel, Hamilton, or Mark Webber, or one of those other ones. It turns out it's going to be Hamilton that's going to break most of his records, because Vettel's basically all balled up. He should have joined Mercedes when he had the choice. I would have. But yeah, if Lewis Hamilton is listening out there, sir, I hope you win the title. After all the heartbreak from last year, hard-fought championship, and after all those bogus calls, I think it'd be good to have everything against you and win. Because it's boring not having maybe the greatest driver of my era, one of the greatest, one of 3 great drivers in my era to actually do that. Actually, maybe one of the 4 greatest drivers in my time to actually win, because I was actually alive when, still alive when I actually lived, yeah. So one of my top 4, because the top 4 drivers of my time frame when I was alive were Schumacher, Alonso, Vettel, and Lewis Hamilton. So, and Schumacher, well, I don't need to say anything about Schumacher. He's a legend, basically. But I think Lewis Hamilton, the reason why I didn't say Ayrton Senna, you guys were like, oh, you were born in, and I know I was born in 89. I was born 4 years before Senna died, but I didn't watch, but I wasn't able to physically watch Senna race when I was a kid, because they never had the TV coverage over here like they do now with David Croft and Martin Brundle and Anthony Davidson, who's a bit of a hothead, but I kind of expected that from a Formula One driver who's not really any that good, but he was great in sports cars, though, winning a couple of championships. I think he was more of a sports car guy than a Formula One guy, and he helped Peugeot and Toyota Toyota and Peugeot win a couple of world titles. So, Grand Prix racer not so much, but he's a great sports car guy, along with Jackie Hickson, the Dane Tom Christensen. So I do hope Hamilton does factor into the championship this year. It's an outside shot, but I hope he wins. So if Lewis is watching out there, he may not stumble upon this tiny little channel, but I hope Lewis Hamilton does win the world title this year, and I'd love him to win it by the slimmest of margins, but I love him to do that. So, and win Mercedes another manufacturer's trophy, because they're the dominant cars. They build it well, and they always seem to come back and win. So I'll see you guys later, and as usual, everybody, long live America, God bless America, long live our freedoms and our rights, long live the strength to persevere, persist, and be resilient. Pray for my friends, let them all stay strong. Pray for my family, especially my grandmother, and pray for my grandfather, who's doing sort of okay, but he needs a little push from time to time. So yeah, I'll see you guys later, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for episode 38. For episode 38 of the year, and 318. So I'll see you guys then. Peace out.